The 2023 film Knox Goes Away stars Michael Keaton as its main character and as its director. Is this movie full of thrills and excitement, or is it a slow burn full of melancholy and sadness? Well, let me tell you. Of course, before we get any further, spoilers are ahead. If you want to watch this movie, I will be talking about the whole thing, so spoilers are ahead. So this movie revolves around a man named John Knox, aka Michael Keaton's character. And what we learn in the movie, he is a Gulf War vet turned into hitman, and we pretty much pick up with the character when he first gets diagnosed with dementia. And it's not your normal dementia, it's a rapid progressive dementia that only takes like 2 to 3 weeks. They have some name for it in the movie, but I don't remember it. So once we learn that, the cliche of the one last job kind of takes place. That doesn't go well, stuff goes awry, and then he realizes like, okay, I'm pretty much done. I'm leaving the life. Only have a few weeks left, so sayonara, right? I'm over it. So when John's reeling from what happened at the one last job, he gets a knock at the door, and what do you know? It's his son Miles, played by James Marsden. But anyways, he comes to his dad in desperation. They haven't talked in like a decade plus, and he tells his dad that, you know, he messed up. He accidentally killed someone because of circumstances I don't want to talk about on YouTube because YouTube. After hearing his son, that's immediately when John starts making up a plan, starts setting stuff up, goes to the scene, changes some stuff to help his son not be the one that gets picked for the crime, and so forth. And this whole time, you're seeing the slow burn of Michael Keaton kind of losing it, him having this plan to help his son, and for a while you think he's actually setting up his son, and you're like, what the heck is he doing? He's collected all this evidence. He took like, you know, hair and whatnot, clothes from the scene of the crime, and he places it in his son's apartment. And you're like, what is he doing? Well, long story short, the John character sets himself up as the killer. When it's all said and done, John takes the fall for his son, even though his son did commit the crime. John figured, well, he's losing his mind anyways. It was a good enough movie. I enjoyed watching it enough. I definitely would say the movie is very naturalistic, and what I mean by that is that there's no real music, no real score. It's very flat. I think you hear some jazz music when he's driving around in the car a few times, but that's about it. So it's just very quiet and somber outside the dialogue and a few action scenes. And even the shots for the cinematography is pretty flat. I don't think Michael Keaton did a bad job by any means, but you can tell this movie was made on a pretty small budget. There was maybe 6 to 10 locations that they used, and that was it. And most of them were interiors. And there was a lot of reverse shot stuff, and there was no real wide shots of anything. It was your pretty standard static shots each time they entered a room, set up a scene, yada yada. And even with me saying that it feels more like an indie movie, it still had Michael Keaton, James Marsden, and Al Pacino. I haven't gotten Al Pacino yet. Yes, Al Pacino himself is in this movie. And his character really isn't all that important. He kind of plays John's friend and kind of helps him along the way as John's really losing his mind. Calls him every day to remind him like, oh, did you check the list? Did you do these things? Because John wrote out a list of things that he has to do before he goes away. Therefore the title. He's a friend, and that's pretty much it. But it was interesting to see Al Pacino in a very small movie like this, but cool nonetheless, I guess. So this movie currently sits at a 6.9 out of 10 on IMDb, and I think that's fair. It's somewhere between a 6 and a 7 out of 10, I think. I know I said it earlier, but again, it is a very slow burn. There's not a lot going on. It's very psychological in a lot of ways, and there's actually pretty good action when there is action. And outside of that, a lot of sitting around, a lot of walking around, a lot of dialogue, but that's kind of expected. I just thought that there's gonna be a little bit more action, maybe in the front part of the movie and maybe kind of at the end, but that's all right. We didn't get a full action movie, but that's okay. If you're into crime dramas, I think you'd like this. And it's Michael Keaton. He does a great job because he's pretty much great in everything. And I got to give it to the man for him being, I think, 71 years old when this movie was filmed. Physically, he still looks great. He gets around great. He moves great. And he truly has a lot of dexterity and physicality left in him, where not a lot of 71-year-old guys do. And one thing I got to give Keaton a lot of praise for, as his mental decay is occurring throughout the movie, he's able to portray that role well, like looking confused, and his eyes don't look as sharp, and his posture is not as good. He forgets to shave. It's for sure a very subtle thing, but I definitely picked up on it. From the start of the movie to the end of the movie, he does a great job showing his mental decay along with his physical decay. But I think that's pretty much it. I got a chuckle out of Cyclops and Batman sitting at a table together. I mean, come on. The nerd in you's gotta love it. You gotta like it. I'd recommend it if you're into this type of movie. I just watched it on a whim. I saw it advertised on Max the other night. I've never even heard of this movie until the other night. Gave it a shot. Liked it well enough. Maybe you would too. So by any chance, if you've seen this movie, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. And while you're down there, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be greatly appreciated. Until next time, guys, everyone have a great day. Thanks for watching.